I'm gonna tell y'all, don't get mad at me, but I think Cuomo got a point here.
It wasn't about the victims wanting transparency and you wanting it for them during the Biden administration? Or before that, when like only 2 of you ever asked about it? Oh, wait, hold on. The Maxwell investigation was still going on. We couldn't release anything.
Why don't they just put the people's names out there? Every situation where people are doing it, they accuse people all the time. Like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notifications. Anytime I go live and make a video, make sure you still subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Let's get into this. Chris Cuomo had a pretty good thing to say about the witnesses or the victims. And he also interviewed a victim and made a statement that I think that everybody should be talking about, and I mentioned at the beginning of the show, is that why don't they just put the people's names out there? Every situation where people are doing it, they accuse people all the time. That broad, and she probably gonna burn in hell because she's a liar, that said that Donald Trump pushed her in Bloomingdale's, pushed her in a thing and assaulted her. That chick that just wrote a book about it, made money off of it, sued Trump for billions of dollars. Just a fake lying sack of you know what. Just like the woman that lied on Brett Kavanaugh. Miss, I just drank a beer 400 years ago and I don't remember nothing that happened, but I know he did something to me. That woman. They coming out and saying stuff. They coming out and put their name out there. They get a hearing. I'm like, and I'm not saying these women weren't mistreated by Epstein. I hope that everybody that Epstein was mistreated get compensated, and I hope he burning in hell for I hope they turn the degrees up of that hellfire, every victim he did. I hope Big Tony down there in hell just raking him over the coals in the spirit. So I don't at all want to mitigate the victims of this, but in my personal opinion, are people using this for political purposes? Because why are they out here doing a press conference? When this happened, I don't know how long ago did Epstein die. 5 years ago? 6? When did he die? They arrested him in Trump's last term. He ended up dying shortly after. Maybe 2018? I can't remember.
2019.
2019. You talking about 6 years ago. Yep. So they've been out here talking about this for 6 years, doing press conferences, and I have not seen anybody break a name. I haven't seen a single victim hint at a name. I haven't seen a single victim share context or share text messages or share email strands or share hidden camera. I haven't seen anybody do anything. There's no way that the FBI has the evidence and the victims don't have the evidence. I don't think it's possible. So is this real, or are we all getting played in 4 different directions? Let's go to Cuomo real quick because I think he has something pretty interesting to say. Wrote a clip.
The left is saying it's all about the victims. I don't buy it. Okay? It wasn't about the victims wanting transparency and you wanting it for them during the Biden administration?
True.
Or before that, when like only 2 of you ever asked about it? Oh, wait, hold on. The Maxwell investigation was still going on. We couldn't release anything. Who's going to believe that? So no other investigation could go on of other people at the same time that Ghislaine Maxwell was being investigated? Really? Anyone supposed to believe that?
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever, Shinergy is having a sale. Normally, we don't do no sales on Shinergy, but right now, Black Friday, we started early. 30% off store-wide. That's 30% off the day-night bundle. That's 30% off day if you want it by itself, or night, or any of our products that we have here. Even the T-Force is 30% off. And if you don't want to take advantage of the 30% off, you have the ability to get 30% off, but also get on a subscription plan. So 30% off will be on your first order, and then the subscription plan will be simply the same each and every month. But 30% off Black Friday. Get your Shinergy today, get your energy, and also get some doggone sleep. All right, let's get to him in the victim clip 107.
Why are you guys afraid to put out the names? The attorneys say don't?
Death threats. A lot of us are mothers. You know, we want the names to be out there. We want justice. But why do we have to do it? That's a very scary thing, and I think you know that.
Hold on there, body boy. Nothing against these women, man. But do you know how silly this and contradictory this sound? Your face is on television right now. You're on here saying that you are a victim. like, what are you afraid of at this point? Your face is already out there. People already know who you are. People can look you up right now. And if they know they did something to you, and they know their name about to come out, they're going to wait till the FBI say their name when they know you cooperated with the FBI and now they see your face and now you're advocating that they get exposed? To be honest, you wouldn't even be on TV right now if you were that afraid. I wouldn't even show my face. I'm anonymous. You're not anonymous. Keep the clip. Roll the clip.
You know, it's just, we want to help to put the names out there, but it's not our responsibility to do so. And I think you know why. I mean, so many people, so many of the survivors.
I get it. I just want you to tell people,
have received
Lisa,
many death threats.
I want you to tell people. I want you to tell people because, you know, based on what's...
I still don't understand this. Like, you don't have to tell you don't have to say, but you could tell somebody that put the names out. Am I right? You can leak it. Don't you have a text message? Don't you have documentation? Don't you have anything? You can leak it to people and they can put the criminals out. Right? Let's just say this for a minute. Just say, I'm just me. I'm just living my life on a podcast. I got abused by somebody in a high position. I got text messages, I got this, I got that, I got whatever the case may be. Man, you think I'm gonna be sitting on that for 7 years because I'm waiting for the government to do something? Man, I'm finna snitch. I already told the government. Oh, y'all don't wanna, okay. I'm gonna go to TMZ. I'm gonna go to one of these sites, keep me anonymous. Don't share that I got text messages. Don't say that there's text messages. But here is what that person did to me. I show you so you know it's proof. Or whatever the case may be. What are you saying? If the government releases it or you release it, it's still released. Maybe I'm wrong. People are gonna be mad at me over this. Maybe I'm being insensitive about this. I do think the government should release the names, but I also think that if you're gonna come on TV and you're gonna make a fuss, you get a press conference, y'all gonna be hugging and kissing and spitting on each, crying on each other, then y'all could come up with a strategy for 7 years now to leak it to somebody. All these podcasters out here, all these people like me and others. You can leak your stuff to one of us and we'll tell the truth. We'll say, I can't confirm or deny, but Bill Clinton got some sticky fingers or whatever you want to say. Roll the clip.
Side you're on, and I know nobody should have a side when it comes to defending people who traffic women, young women especially, or any women. There are sides. So that's why I want you to articulate it, and you've done it.
Let me say this. I know y'all gonna be mad at me. Don't get mad at me, man. I'm just a human, and I process things maybe different than you. It's like victim impact statements and all this. I just can't stand it. It bothers me a little bit because I feel like you give the power to the suspect by going out there and crying and being a victim. And also, I think there needs to be a delineation between real victims and women who weren't victims. Because I've seen this in R. Kelly's situation. We've seen this in all these major people's situation. What's his name? Weinstein. Some women are actually abused by these people. They trick them. They force them into stuff. They do. Some of y'all are just, give me a beat. Some of y'all are just, you know what I'm saying? You want to climb up the ladder. And so you go horizontal to go vertical in your career. Just admit that. That's it. It's crazy because if I was it's fun because men can't get done like that. If I want to be at the top of the industry and a woman want to screw me for me to get up there, man, yeah, that's a win-win. I get to screw you and I'm making money. That's easy. You know, men, can I be honest with y'all? Men screw ugly women all the time. It's they get drunk and they get a fat one and they're the ugly ones. Every man that's watching this know it's been at least one that you like, oh, what was I thinking? I was tripping. I was desperate. Why did I do that? And that's the Harvey Weinstein. The weird thing is that men wouldn't even have a problem with sleeping with some ugly woman to get to the top of the food chain and make millions of dollars. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying then on the other side, women will sleep with Harvey Weinstein and then be a victim. It's like, no, sis, 2 o'clock in the morning, Harvey Weinstein asked you to come to his hotel room. He greasy. He nasty and greasy. And you think y'all gonna talk business at 2 a.m. when you know that everybody been telling you that he a nasty mother. And what some of these women do is they go sleep with him and then they feel bad about it. And then the woman that he actually abused, they jump on it. They jump on the bandwagon with them. I'm a survivor. No, you wasn't. You knew what you was doing when you went to his room. You ain't giving that money back. You gonna get the money back? You slept with Harvey Weinstein to get to your point in your career, and you know you did it through nefarious means. How about you get that money to other women that are victims? No, you gonna put that in your pocket? Oh, that Gucci bag came from that? Oh, you gonna give your awards back, are you? You don't give your accolades back? You just hold all that. Man, I'm just saying, bro. I'm not sleeping with nobody to get to nowhere in life. I'm just not doing it. I'm not sleeping with you to advance my career. And if I decide to sleep with somebody to advance my career, not now because I'm married and everything and I'm a good man of God, but if I wasn't, I'm not gonna come back and complain about it. I'm gonna take that money and do what I plan to do with it, knowing that I'm sleeping with somebody to get there. I'm not getting manipulated. Nobody paying me money to do stuff. I'm not doing none of that stuff. And if I do it, I'm not gonna get on here and act like I'm a victim because somebody paid me $200,000 to say something. Oh, it's just annoying to me. It's because there's real people that are victims out here and they get washed in with these other people. Let's go to the Democrats real quick because Hakeem Jeffries and Stacey Plaskett, think of the name. She got the dumbest name in the world. It should be Plaskett. That's more, but who named Plastic or Plaskett? Just stupid. But anyway, here is, in my opinion, evidence that would argue that Democrats are the ones who are more involved in this than anything else. Let's get to the first clip, roll it 401.
The Democrats had all the Epstein files in their possession for 4 long years under the Biden presidency. The Biden Department of Justice had these files, and no one on this side who is breathless today about the urgency of this release ever said a word about it. Why the sudden urgent interest in Jeffrey Epstein? Look, we know why. The simple truth is obvious for everybody to see. This is a political exercise for Democrats. Democrats are using the Epstein tragedy, the unspeakable evils that this guy committed. They're using that as a political weapon to try to distract from their failures as a party and to try their best to try to tie President Trump somehow into this wretched scandal.
That's exactly right. For 4 years, they ignored the victims of Jeffrey Epstein because the politics of it didn't quite work. They walked right by, pretending to be on their phones. That's how much the Democrat Party really cares about women. Then after an election that they lost, losing power, they dug into files that were well known to them, and they squeezed a couple emails about the president out, including the big one we saw last week, which they needed a deceitful redaction of to sell to the broader and brain-dead media, concealing Virginia Giuffre as a young girl who had spent hours with Trump, allegedly, according to Jeffrey Epstein. They concealed the name because Giuffre was Trump's loudest and most vocal exonerator, as explained once again today by James Comer.
In their latest selective leak, Democrats released just three of the 23,000 pages of documents from the Epstein estate. And they made redactions to 2 of those emails that changed both the context and the meaning when we released every single document that we got. They claim full transparency was meant to, quote, disorient or distract. These are the same Democrats who chant, release the files every day until the files contradict the story they want to tell.
As we have said, you'd have to be quite dense to actually believe that there is a massive Trump scandal that's sitting inside of these files or that ever sat inside these files. All of this information was at the hyper-weaponized Biden Department of Justice for years. This was likely the first place that they looked for something big enough to stop the Trump machine from recapturing Washington the way it did.
Now, let me say this real quick. I remember when the Republicans released the files on Epstein and they tried to say that they're covering something else up. Oh, they trying to distract from Donald Trump's, so they released that. Y'all remember that? I remember now that Chip said that, or not Chip, but that the congressman said that, because I remember them saying they only released the Epstein files to distract their audience with this because they're screwing up the country so much. And then now that they're not releasing it, now they say that they refuse to release it because they're trying to hide something. It's these people are evil, and I hope they all go to hell, to be honest, unless they repent. But let's go to Hakeem Jeffries real quick, because Hakeem Jeffries and Stacey Plaskett, they had some involvement with this guy, but because they're Democrats, and obviously Stacey had way more than Hakeem Jeffries, but because they're Democrats, nobody's talking about it. Caitlin Collins, remember? She's talking all this stuff about Donald Trump. Why nobody talking about these Democrats? Let's start with Stacey first. I was gonna start with Hakeem, but I'm gonna start with Stacey first because this is the craziest, most egregious. Let's go with 403.
So now that we got Bill Clinton, that's number one, and then Stacey Plaskett as the number two individual, because she's on record texting Jeffrey Epstein during the congressional hearing. So she's in hot water. And then the entire Democratic Party as a whole is in hot water. Why? Because they was willing to keep the government closed indefinitely to basically hurt America. And their intentions, as they say, was to hurt the presidency of Donald Trump.
All right, now this is her real time texting Jeffrey Epstein. Wrote a clip.
Me, and I'll take it under advisement now, and it's not a problem in terms of attorney-client privilege. Yes, I will turn it over.
You, as my friend Mr. Meadows pointed out, misled this committee even today in a written submission that contradicted your testimony. You suggested you were going to review that. Are you going to review it in our next break to correct the record, yes or no?
Yes.
Question, you helped out the president's campaign or were involved in the campaign as a representative, as a spokesman, even in your words today. It was your idea for the campaign dating back to 2011. Is that accurate, yes or no?
Yes.
2011 is a year that sticks in my head. For it's the year my daughter was born, and it was the year I was diagnosed with cancer. I was not then pushing for Donald Trump to be president. I was fighting cancer.
You've mentioned some individuals to my colleague from New York, Ms. Connolly, and also in your testimony about Mr. Weisenberg and other individuals, Ms. Rona. Who are those individuals? Are they with the Trump Organization?
They are.
And are there other people that we should be meeting with?
So Alan Weisselberg is the chief financial officer.
You got to quickly give us as many names as you can so we can get to them.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I think you guys get the gist.
As Ms. Rona, what is Ms. Rona's?
Let me put this in perspective for you. She is the representative of the Virgin Islands. Jeffrey Epstein lived in the Virgin Islands. And so he was one of her constituents. Now, it's okay to be, I'm just putting it out here. It's okay for a constituent to message their representative and help them ask prominent questions that they need to hear. Now, because he's prominent, she can receive his text. She's not going to text every constituent. But the problem is he was already a convicted sex offender. He was a convicted pedophile. And all these people had no problem with him at first. All of a sudden, now they got a problem. All of a sudden, he's such a bad guy. And he donated to them. Let's go to the paperwork. I got the paperwork right here. He donated to the Democrats. He donated to Republicans too. But the Democrats are trying to act like they all concerned about it now. They weren't concerned about it when he was paying them money. So when we look at the Democrats and the money they took, the DNC took $32,000, and this is in the mid-90s, or 1990s. Bill Richardson took $50,000 in 2002, additional support in 2006. Gary King, $15,000, Attorney General race, $35,000 in the governor's race. Jim Baca, $10,000. Jim Solano, $2,000. Stacey Plaskett took thousands of dollars. And according to this, it says she later gave the money away after he was arrested in 2019. But all these people still took his money. And where you give it away to? Where you gonna give it away to? You already got the money. You already took the money. What she did was she took that money and used it, and she had to give away somebody else's money that they gave to her. That's probably what really happened. And the Republicans, let me be fair, the Republicans did take money from him too. George W. Bush took thousands. Bob Dole took thousands, it says on here. Bob Packwood, you go down the list. But I will say Hakeem Jeffries it's not on record that he took money. Although we'll get to Hakeem Jeffries in a minute because he was invited by his staff. Epstein was invited by his staff to a fundraiser, and they tried to make the connection where Epstein wanted to meet Jeffries and Jeffrey wanted to meet Epstein. It was there. Barack Obama didn't receive any money, but you know who else didn't receive any money? Donald Trump didn't receive any money, but they're not going to talk about it like that. They're not going to mention that, and they're not going to mention it alongside the other people that didn't receive money. All right, let's get to the other clip of her. Let's go to, I'm just going to say this, and then we're going to go to her making herself look even worse. She was censured. They compelled the vote to censure her because of her involvement with that and taking the text messages and all that above. We don't need to watch that. But let's go to clip 307. No, let's go to 306 of her digging herself deeper in the hole. Roll the clip.
I believe that Jeffrey Epstein had information, and I was going to get information to get at the truth. Having a friendship with him is not something that I would deem to have. And so I'm just looking forward. I'm moving forward. And I think that that's what we as American people should do, is move forward. If individuals are not involved in illegal activity, extending his criminal enterprise or his financial enterprise or all of those things, I think that we need to look at what people are doing moving forward.
Wait, let me just better understand that. What is that point? Because at the time he was a known sex offender and it had been detailed all the sexual abuse.
There are a lot of people who have done a lot of crimes, and as a prosecutor, you get information from people where you can.
All right, so she admitted that she knew he was a pedo, and she still communicated with him on the phone. Do she have a point? She could have a point. Yeah, you get information from everybody. You don't discriminate. If you can get information that's going to get to the bottom line. But then don't get out here and say nothing about Donald Trump, because you were taking information from him and still communicating after he was convicted. So I don't want to hear that bull shenanigans. That's the part that makes me mad about all of this, is that just admit that you did that or whatever case it be, but don't go pile on Trump when you were involved with the guy. He wasn't that bad to you then. All right, let's get to Hakeem Jeffries real quick, because I think Hakeem Jeffries is an interesting story as well. 301. Listen to what he's saying. Roll it.
Donald Trump appears to have chickened out on the Epstein scandal. He's caved. It's a complete and total surrender, because as Democrats, we made clear from the very beginning, the survivors and the American people deserve full and complete transparency as it relates to the lives that were ruined by Jeffrey Epstein, who was a monster, and all of those folks who were dealing with him, the wealthy and the well-off, and people who are going to be exposed in full transparency. That's been our commitment from the very beginning, and it's closer to happening this week. The House will act decisively, the Senate needs to act, and Donald Trump just needs to step out of the way and let the chips fall where they may.
And show me a video of Hakeem Jeffries saying this when Biden was in office. Y'all care so much about the victims. Where was this energy? Where was this? We want transparency in 4 years that Joe Biden was in office. It's insane to me that Republicans do this too, is that we jumping on our guy saying that he's covering things up, and they didn't even mention anything about Epstein when they were in office. And yet we let them get away with it by being mad at our guy, but we're not mad at them. We don't think that they're crooked. Let's go to the other clip, Jeffrey Epstein 302.
So Hakeem Jeffries met and knew Jeffrey Epstein as far back as 2014? A newly released document showing an exchange of messages between a Leslie Groff and Jeffrey Epstein himself, talking about introducing him to Hakeem Jeffries and being the future of the Democratic Party. For those that aren't aware, Leslie Groff was the executive assistant to Jeffrey Epstein, and he goes into detail of pretty much how much he liked Hakeem Jeffries and that Jeffrey needs to meet him. And people wonder why we call him Timu Obama, because he quite literally is referenced as the Brooklyn Barack in these emails. Pause to read. Now, everybody knows, and many on the other side deny, the fact that Jeffrey Epstein was a long-standing supporter of the Democrats, and we only see a continued trend here. But my thing is if you're going to sit here and call other people pedophiles, like Trump and whatnot, for having connections to Jeffrey Epstein, I guess we're going to have that conversation about Hakeem Jeffries.
Now, they claim there's no evidence that Hakeem Jeffries actually met with Jeffrey Epstein. They claim there's no evidence. That does not mean that they didn't meet. It's just that nobody has unequivocal evidence that they met. So it's a possibility they could or couldn't. But if you ask me, Jeffrey Epstein was a pretty prominent person around this time. Jeffrey Epstein was donating to people and trying to get leverage into certain circles. And there's a reason why he reached out to Hakeem Jeffries. There's a reason why there was correspondence between the two. Not Jeffries, but the two camps. There's reasonings behind it. If you're going to say there's a nothing burger there, I don't know if that's true. Hakeem Jeffries also, clip 303, and then he gets exposed, which I'll end it on that. Roll it.
Why should Americans trust you and House Democrats on the Jeffrey Epstein files when one of your own, Congresswoman Plaskett, was found to be texting with Jeffrey Epstein during a hearing, getting information from him, using that in her questioning during a congressional hearing, and at one point he tells her, "Good job."
This is a bipartisan effort to make sure
he go off
that consistent with what
he goes off and do his little thing. Why didn't he mention it? Why didn't he at least answer a question? If they were talking about Trump, he would have dug deep into it. Let's go to the last clip, 304. And this is the one where this idiot, after they asked him about the whole Epstein, listen to what he say. And you tell me right now, comment in the comment section. Do you think he lying? Do you think his response is disingenuous based on his demeanor and the way he answered this question? Roll the clip.
Any comment on Hakeem Jeffries' campaign soliciting money from Jeffrey Epstein himself back in 2013?
This is the first time hearing about it, obviously.
Comer said it on the floor.
Well, I don't know if it's true. I mean, you're just saying it, but obviously anyone who took money from him should return the money or didn't donate the money. And
Did he step down as leader?
I have to look at what you're saying. It's the first time hearing about it, but he should certainly return the money or donate the money. And it's the first time, honestly, hearing about it.
He should return the money to Jeffrey Epstein? I mean, he should return the money. I mean, I'm telling you, I wish that we could have a parallel universe. We could have them ask them the question about Donald Trump, right? Come to him and say, what do you think about Donald Trump being involved in a thing? I almost put my life on it that they'll be all over him. Yeah, Donald Trump is, he's trying to cover it up. He was involved and everything else. And then she say, Hakeem Jeffries, it's my first time hearing this. I don't know. I've never heard of this before. Y'all get what I'm saying? Republicans may do the same thing. Either way it go, it's wrong.